is the #1 pricing factor for professional photographers? Welcome to my photography business channel. My name is Rosh, and this video is about the #1 pricing factor photographers need to consider when pricing their work. Your cost of doing business is an important factor. However, it's not the #1 factor. Believe it or not, as much as I talk about the importance of your cost of doing business, which I have a video about at the end of this video, I highly recommend you check it out. But it's not the most important factor. You need to know what your baseline is. However, there are many photographers who totally ignore their cost of doing business when pricing their photography because it has to do with this one factor. Being a specialist certainly can be a factor when pricing your photography. It's about supply and demand, and if you have a skill that other photographers can't do or can't do well, then you can add a premium for those skills. However, that's still not the #1 factor. Camera equipment can play a role, and that's part of your cost of doing business. But again, kind of like being the specialist, having certain equipment can be a part of your pricing or a factor in terms of rarity, supply and demand. People don't have this piece of equipment or even know how to use that piece of equipment, so you can put a premium on your price because of that. Sometimes it's because of your crew, your large production, the way you approach an assignment, and that is even getting a little bit closer to that #1 factor. I won't tease you anymore because you very well may have figured it out. It's your brand, your reputation. That is the #1 pricing factor, because a lot of photographers don't feel they have the reputation, and sometimes that comes from the amount of time they've been in the business. They think they have lower skills, so they can't charge as much, and that's their reputation that they have in their head. But there are many photographers who charge thousands and thousands of dollars. Why? Because they have set their reputation in motion. They have developed the brand. They have other people who believe in the same reputation that they have put out there. In other words, people are willing to pay for that brand. Now, another photographer could do just as good of a job. There are incredible photographers out there who are charging nothing. And there are okay photographers charging a lot of money. And of course, there are great photographers also charging a lot of money. But for the most part, it's because of their brand, more than the equipment that they are using, more than the production that they have set up. More than anything, their costs of doing business. It's the brand that sets the stage for a higher rate. Now wait a minute, isn't your brand your logo or design or theme of your website? And the answer is no, that is not your brand. It's part of your branding. Because if your brand is your reputation, it's also how people think of you or how people feel when they see your logo. So your brand does start with the logo, with the design, with your portfolio. Because sometimes the first thing they see is your website, your portfolio. How do they react? How does that future client or prospect react when they see your website? And that is part of brand development. So if they see your website and it's not your very best work, or it's not what they're looking for, there's all different types of photography, but they don't see the type of photography you're originally looking for, they're gonna walk away. They're not gonna give you a shot. It's important to be focused, have a up-to-date website with a modern feel and logo, and just make it look real easy to work with you. That is also why testimonials are so important. When you have the opportunity to video somebody who's saying great things about your work, take that opportunity and put it on your website, because third-party confirmation also helps your brand, also helps your reputation. I'm a true believer that marketing is everything, and so your brand can be looked at the same way. Everything related in the front-facing world of your clients, how you interact with your clients is part of your brand. Your website is part of your brand. How you follow up with your client is part of your brand. Their experience on set is part of your brand. Everything. And so you need to look at every part of your photography business from beginning to end and make sure there is a consistent brand. And if you do that well, people will start to refer you because they have confidence and trust in you. And when people have confidence and trust in you, they refer you. And as more and more people refer you, you can increase your rates, especially as the quality of the new prospect or customer increases. Because people who have increased trust and see value in you are more likely to refer you to their top tier referral clients or friends. Yet it's always good to start with your cost of doing business. So here's that video that I promised.